Hi guys, and welcome back to MicroSolutions Manufacturer's Guide to CMMC 2.0 Compliance. Today we're going to talk about Domain 14, the final domain, Systems and Information Integrity. Let's talk about our key phrase. System and information integrity exists to maintain trust in the systems you rely on every day. Let's break that down. When we talk about integrity here, we're not talking about morality or intent. We're talking about whether your systems continue to behave the way you expect them to. Over time, all systems drift. Software ages, configurations change, updates pile up, small issues compound quietly. If no one's paying attention, systems don't usually fail all at once. They slowly become less reliable, less predictable, and harder to trust. In a manufacturing environment, that matters. You rely on systems for uptime, for quality control, for production scheduling, reporting, and even decision making. If the system's output can't be trusted, everything downstream becomes questionable. System and information integrity is about maintaining confidence that when your systems are telling you is still accurate, and that when something changes unexpectedly, you know about it and respond deliberately. Not because you're afraid of threats, but because stable operations depend on trustworthy systems. System and information integrity governs how you monitor, maintain, and correct systems so they continue to operate as intended. It's about detecting unexpected changes, validating that systems remain accurate, and correcting issues before they create larger problems. Just as importantly, let's talk about what this domain isn't. It's not constant firefighting, reacting emotionally to every alert, it's not paranoia, and it's certainly not chasing perfection. This domain doesn't expect you to prevent every issue. Instead, the intent's much simpler and more realistic. You should be able to tell when something changes, understand whether that change matters, and respond in a controlled manner. Integrity is less about threats and more about trust over time. Before we talk about assessments or improvements, it helps to pause and ask a few honest questions. Not to score yourself, just to understand your current posture. First, do we have visibility when systems change in ways we didn't plan? Second, are updates and patches applied intentionally or do they get delayed indefinitely? Third, when alerts occur, do they lead to action or are they mostly ignored due to volume? Fourth, do we have confidence that our data remains accurate and hasn't been altered unexpectedly? And fifth and finally, when issues are discovered, do we correct them and learn from them or just move on? These questions aren't about blame, they're about awareness. From an assessment standpoint, this domain is actually very practical. Assessors generally want to see three things. First, that you have controls in place to detect integrity issues. That might include monitoring, alerts, or checks that identify unexpected behavior or changes. Second, that you have processes to correct issues once they're identified. Not heroic responses, just clear steps that show you act intentionally. And third, that this happens consistently, not only when something goes wrong. To put it in plain terms, integrity evidence often looks like records showing updates or patches were applied, alerts showing that things were reviewed and addressed, notes explaining why certain issues were prioritized or deferred, and documentation showing corrective actions were taken. The goal isn't volume, it's credibility. In the real world, most organizations struggle here, and for understandable reasons. Alerts pile up faster than teams can review them. Patching gets postponed because production can't stop, and issues are discovered only after they've already caused a disruption. It's not negligence, it's the result of limited time, limited staff, and competing priorities. The important thing is not pretending these gaps don't exist, but recognizing them clearly and addressing them gradually. A mature system and information integrity posture feels, well, quieter. Systems can behave predictably. Changes are expected, reviewed, and documented. Issues are corrected before they cascade to other systems. Leadership has confidence in reports and dashboards. IT teams aren't surprised during reviews or incidences, and audits feel more like confirmations than interrogations. Good integrity doesn't eliminate problems, it reduces surprises. So practically speaking, this domain comes together through discipline, not complexity. From a procedure standpoint, you want defined processes for monitoring, patching, validation, and response. From a people standpoint, it should be clear who monitors systems, who acts on findings, and who reviews outcomes. From a technology standpoint, you need mechanisms, not brands, that support monitoring, alerting, and integrity checks. Not fancy tools, but systems that support your needs. And from evidence standpoint, we need to keep records that show alerts were reviewed, patches were applied, and integrity was validated, and of course that corrections were made. Small, consistent actions matter more than elaborate systems ever will. System and information integrity is often the domain that quietly connects everything else. It reinforces access control, incident response, maintenance, configuration management, all of it. In the ebook that we've created, this domain is positioned as the stabilizing layer that sustains long-term compliance and operational resilience across all 14 domains. And when you're ready to dive in, check out the implementation guide as well. At its core, system and information integrity isn't about fear. It's about building trust. Trust that systems will behave the way that you've expected. Trust that data is accurate. Trust that when things change, you'll know and respond calmly. Consistent care keeps systems reliable, and reliable systems support confident decisions. That's what this integrity is really about. Thanks for staying to the end of Domain 14 and the completion of our entire CMMC series here at Micro Solutions. We hope it's brought you a lot of value and gotten you closer to starting your journey if you haven't started already. If this seems overwhelming, please give us a call. We're happy to point you in the right direction. We hope that this ebook and the implementation guide can get you started as well. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of points out there that I'm sure you can get without making any big sweeping changes, but just some consistent effort. Once you've got some baseline assessment or have found a direction you'd like to go, we'd love it if you'd contact us. We're happy to hop in at any point of this journey. Don't be afraid to reach out. Thanks. See you there.